Hi. So, is that one? Yeah. Okay. Um. So I came up with a new story idea. Um. Thing is, I don't know all the details yet, but um. But to start out with, um, Katie, Morgan's mom, um, she has a treasure map, and she's told Sean and his crew that he can have the treasure if he can find it. And um hold on. Oh wait. Anyway, Katie has a treasure map and she's told Sean and his crew that they can have it if they can find it. So they went to go find it. You know, like this is a very piratey thing to do, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. But there's a big storm. So I don't know if it's going to be before or after the treasure hunt, but I kind of want to make it be before. And then end the, or, not end it there, but have have Sean be able to join in. But the thing is that there's a big storm. He gets swept overboard, but instead of making it to his ship, the enemy ship is the one that rescues him. And I came up with that there'd be titanium steel in a band around the mast, and that's what he's shackled to. Shackles are kind of like handcuffs, but like way stronger, and these ones are made out of titanium steel. So he's getting shackled to the mast, and there's another ring down behind his ankles that is also titanium steel, and it's got shackles to hold his ankles in place. And then maybe just for good measure, they're holding him. I mean, they tie him around the waist just to make sure. Oh, these people have a donkey or a mule. Not sure which. I can't tell the difference. I'm not saying Minecraft needs to change it or anything. I'm just saying I can't tell the difference. And I'm suddenly wondering if Jack Black knows the difference. Because he likes to play Minecraft so much. Anyway, so he's gonna end up on the enemy ship, but eventually, and they're supposed to hit him with an ore, which knocks him out. Which if he's got a hard Pendragon head, it would probably take a few tries. And we know he does have a hard Pendragon head, so anyway, it would take a few tries. But anyway, he's gonna end up in like the tool room for the engine. Like they're gonna stop for gas somewhere. And did they even think about that? Everybody's saying go electric, go electric. Did they think about that, the ships need to go electric too? But anyway, he's gonna end up in that room, and one of the doctors, either Alan or Oliver, is gonna end up there with him, and he's fading in and out. Um, like he'll be awake and talking for just a little tiny bit, and then he's like maybe long enough to say hi Uncle Alan or hi Oliver, and then he's out again. And they're both doctors, so that's the reason why they're there. I don't know if they're gonna like try to sell him at the pirate auction, or if they're trying to sell him back to his grandfather, or what at that point in the storyline. But I haven't developed it that far yet. But the um, yeah, he's gonna be in that room, and then, like I said, he's joined by one of the doctors, and they are very concerned because like he's gonna call one of them uh, Page, or keep calling them Doctor, or ask who are you, something like that. Ew, that would be worse if he's like barefoot. Because like maybe the kids are in bed already, and and Ashley looks over at him like, well, we're alone now, and does what couples do. Maybe that's what they started to go for, and they couldn't get there all the way because of the storm. Um, I just don't know yet. But anyway, I came up with that idea, and I was like, oh, I love that idea. I just haven't had a chance to type it out yet, so maybe that's what I'll work on today. I want to work on my story too, but it might be one of those things where that's what I've got to do because I don't want to forget the story idea. Um, Or maybe they're keeping him as a prize because he's Captain Sean Anthony Pendragon, you know? Not that. There we go. Hi. Can you settle? Settle. Settle. There you go. Trying to get him to do it the first try. He was doing it for a while. And then because he was doing it on his own without having to be told, we didn't say it. And then sometimes I have to tell him settle like 3 or 4 times. But it just means lay down on my lap. So, hello. They're lucky I felt like answering. So, so I didn't say this in my last video or the one before that, but it turns out that the reason why she has no hours is because I am white and not Hispanic speaking. Which I think that's funny because everybody in there looks like they're white, but I don't know how they do on Hispanic speaking, I'm, you know, Spanish speaking. So I don't know about that. But anytime that they've come in, I've, been able to understand every single one of them because they all seem to speak English, and, like they've been born here. And yeah, I don't think that I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't think that if you cannot speak English very well, you should be working in a English speaking, uh, you know, the Dollar Tree. Mostly people speak English when they go into the Dollar Tree. And, Devin was trying to tell me that, they have a lot of Spanish speaking customers in there. And I'm like, I've never seen a Spanish speaking customer yet. In Walmart, yes. But I don't think I've ever seen somebody who needed to speak Spanish um, that, like couldn't get service because of the language gap. But, like I said, at Walmart, yes, but not here. Usually at Walmart, it's they've got to find the token Spanish speaking associate. And it's like, I'm sure that's very annoying for them because, they just went in there to get a cell phone charger or something like that, and they have to go and find the one person that knows how to speak Spanish. But, like, I'm just saying, Japan, you, like, learn 3 languages by the time you get out of school. Maybe we ought to adopt that in America. Just maybe. I mean, like when you're watching Sesame Street, you learn agua. Um, if you're paying attention, you learn. I can't think of the other word. It's open in Spanish. But the other one was cerrado, which is closed. But I can't think of the other one. Anyway, you learn a few. You learn agua, which is water. You learn um that one word, and which is open, and cerrado, which is closed. But or if you look at those signs, the wet floor signs, you learn cuidado. I think that's danger, danger or caution. I think I think Sesame Street said it meant danger. But I don't know. But like I trust what Sesame Street is was telling us back in the 80s is true. And I liked Sesame Street from the 80s. I didn't like Sesame Street when they put rap on there. I mean, if it would have been like, if it would have been like Ice Ice Baby or, I can't think of that guy's name. Oh, Vanilla Ice. If it would have been, Vanilla Ice or, um, I'm putting a question mark on this, MC Hammer, who did the Addams Family and, Too Legit to Quit, and I don't know if that was MC Hammer, but it was somebody. But if it would have been like that, that would have been okay. Or even Will Smith with the West Philadelphia born and raised, that kind of thing. If it would have been that, that would have been fine. But it was like, that other kind of rap that I don't like, and it's it's just not my cup of tea. And I mean, well, she's probably gonna be embarrassed if she ever sees this, but when we're trying to potty train our daughter, we were trying to make it um sound really cool in her head. We're trying to make it really cool. Like look, Tuttle's doing it, and but they never showed you on the potty. But it's like, look, Tuttle's doing it. Look, the sister bear to the brother bear on Sesame Street is doing it. Actually, she had an accident. Or did he have an accident? One of the two had an accident. So they were like, hi. I think it was the sister bear. I want to say it's a bear. It might have been a monster, but I think it was a bear. Um, anyway, we had the DVDs for that. Dora did not have that. That would have been a really good episode. Um, I don't know how they would have turned that into a Dora adventure though. Cause like, I guess they wanted to do a Christmas episode, and they decided, um, on Christmas Eve, Um, no, it wasn't Christmas Eve. Christmas Day. They decided they wanted to give Santa a present because Santa had brought all the presents and he hadn't noticed the one that they left him. Her and Boots left him, and so they had to go and deliver it. So they had to go all the way to the North Pole. That they tied in the idea and it was good. But but yeah, I just don't know how they would tie in uh like a potty episode. But yeah, we had potty time with Bear and um that the Sesame Street DVD and might have been potty time with Elmo. Not sure. But anyway, we had like three DVDs. I can't think what the other one would have been though. But anyway, we had like three DVDs that we would show her. We were trying to make it, look like it's cool to not have to be in a diaper anymore. And yeah, she just really wasn't ready. But she had to be potty trained to go to school. So it was like, what do we do? Well, we got one of those dingy bell alarm clocks. And we'd have it go off like I think every hour. We'd have it go off like every hour, and that's how we did it. I don't know what made me think of that. But, okay, so that will help me segue into something that I think is pretty dang cool. America will be officially 250 years old tomorrow. Because this is July 3rd of 2026. I say the date and I put the date in there just in case somebody's watching this, like say in 27 or 28 or 30, 2030, whatever. So you know what I was thinking at the time. Because there's a lot of videos where you're like watching it later and you're like, well, when did they do this? And it doesn't say. So like I saw Darcy Lynn, when did I see her? I want to say I saw her on on YouTube, but on AGT in like somewhere between 2019 and 2022. Um during my break at the W store, but I want to say that's when I first saw her. And then you're like, they don't give you an update. They don't give you an update. Um, but it was the one where she's singing, the summer nights and something about the cotton is high and that song. Uh, the one where it starts out with, "You're gonna sing? Oh boy." Anyway, it was really cool. And then, like they didn't give you an update, and then all of a sudden, um, she's going back for AGT All Stars or something like that, and she wanted to get rid of the ventriloquist part of it because, she's grown up. She's like 16 or 18 or something like that. And she could, obviously she can sing. She's gotten her confidence. And they're like, no, because the puppets are your thing. Well, excuse me, Disney was trying to convince people with High School Musical that you can do stuff that is not your stuff. Like sing without your puppets. Obviously they forgot about that, but it doesn't say a date on either one of those. So you don't know when. So you don't know when they happened. And then there was another one where it said that she got in a car accident and got in a hospital and all that, but you watched that video and she didn't. I don't know if it's, I don't know if that one's true either. There was another one saying Courtney Haddon or whatever her last name is, and I apologize for not knowing. She was doing possibly a Janis Joplin song. But it's the one where it's the one where she gets on there and she's all shy and everything, and then she hears the music and she becomes this whole other person, and they love her performance. Anyway, she's supposedly, according to some YouTube video out there, not alive anymore, which seems a little weird. But yeah, it was like a car accident thing, and oh, so my husband went to Reno the other day, for work. He went to Reno, and I was just a little bit worried, because traffic is so crazy nowadays. I was a little bit worried that there would be, like I'm always a little afraid that there's going to be a bang up on the road, when the car's going to hit one of the other cars, um, and my husband's going to be one of those cars, I'm just a little worried, not like so bad that I'm like sitting there on the phone with him the whole entire time or something like that. I mean, I would love to, but I know he needs his phone for work, and we're definitely going to run out of stuff to say. But anyway, I'm always like really worried that that's going to happen. And then he was telling me that that's exactly what happened, but it was two other cars. So I was like, see, I was right to be worried this time. I don't know. I just had a feeling that day that there was going to be a smash up kind of thing on the road. So they ended up having to, he ended up having to drive around it. It wasn't too bad, I think he said it wasn't too bad. Anyway. So, the part of the story that I'm at is pretty much the part of the story that I left off at, last time, but I'm just a little bit further now. the it's chapter, what is it, chapter? Oh, good. Okay. Oh, chapter 57. Wait a minute, I'm having a sudden question here. Okay. Anyway, so Jesse drove to the ferry that would, that is supposed to be able to get them to Scotland that afternoon, and he pulls in, and it says he pulled into the spot where he would have been able to drive onto the ferry if they had been open. So he goes, that's gonna put a damper on things. And he pulls out his, he goes and pulls into a parking spot and calls up Hayden, and they're gonna figure out what they're gonna do. Okay. So last stream, somebody was trying to help me out because they said it said golf with your friends, but obviously the game that I was playing, Pac-Man, wasn't golf with your friends. So I was like looking at my copy of Twitch, seeing what it said, and it said Pac-Man, just like it was. And I don't know if the person even knew what Pac-Man was, so I seriously don't even know if they knew what Pac-Man was, because they said this game isn't that game. Like, I was like, wow, I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know what Pac-Man is. That's perfectly fine because it depends on what part of the world you are and how old you are and stuff as to how much you know. Or I'm originally from California, and so when people say chitlins and gravy, I know that I think it was chitlins and gravy. Anyway, when people say something like that, I know it's from a southern state like Georgia. But I don't have any clue what it is. What the heck is a chitlin? I don't know. Um, but or like a dirty water hot dog. I think that's a New York thing. And why would you want dirty water on your hot dog? That just sounds disgusting to me. But maybe that is the best hot dog in the world, and I would not try it because it says dirty water. I don't know what that means. Me originally being from California and now being a Nevadian, um, I would have to have them explain it to me, and they may be like, "Go away, kid," even though I'm not a kid. They'd be saying something like, "Go away, kid. You're bothering me." Like on Home Alone. Yeah, it's kind of funny because the guy that they got to play that part kind of sounded like it's a washer. It's a washer. It's okay. Washers stay in one spot, clean your clothes, and do not eat kitties. They don't chase kitties either. okay, when you have a cat with wild imagination with a story like Sam's, you have to come up with stuff, you know, you have to come up with the ways to explain things that you wouldn't normally think of. You know, like if as if you were talking to your kid. Um, because Sam's like on high alert sometimes um, because when he was about 1 years old, he um he was about 1 years old, and um he got chased by a really big dog, and um sounded like the neighbor falling down the stairs with groceries somehow. I don't know how. Like canned goods. Hold on. Hello?
Hello? Hey, this is Harper over at Nova Healthcare.
Now they're using Panda Express in Reno. Really? I didn't know why Panda Express in Reno would have been calling me. So just in case, my husband's home today. Well, he's at their, he's at father-in-law's doctor's appointment, and then I think the thought is that they're gonna drop, uh, he's gonna drop father-in-law off again, and, um, and then go pick him. Oh my gosh, I did that. Ugh. And I didn't even think that there was a problem. Oh my goodness. So, for any of you who are going, hey, you're doing the wrong color. Yes, you are right. Okay, so anyway, um, we have one problem later in the month because we don't know how I'm getting mother-in-law to um we don't know how I'm getting mother-in-law to her appointment because I cannot drive their car without pain in my thigh. And I don't know why either. I'm guessing it's the angle of my leg when I'm trying to drive it, you know. Um, I can not confirm or deny this, but I think that's what it is. It's just at an odd angle, and my leg doesn't like it. So mother-in-law's like, okay, we'll put salon pause, which I think works really good. Some people will tell you icy hot. Um, some people will tell you that rub-on stuff from the dollar store. Um, it's just what works for you. Um, like if if I have some back pain or back irritation, like I did, I think it was day before yesterday. Wait, what would have been the day before yesterday? Today's Friday, so the day before yesterday would have been Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. So Wednesday I had some back pain from having to sit in, chairs that I don't normally sit in. And oh, no, no, no. No, it wasn't even for that. Sorry. Uh wait. Okay, that's the 7 and that's the 2. Okay, I get it. I tried to make this look as much like a normal neighborhood as possible. I really did. So, so no, it wasn't even that. It was that she leaned on me too much, and like my back kind of like buckled. It kind of went woozy for a minute there, and I was like, the rest of the day I was kind of sore. It wasn't so bad that I needed to go to the emergency room, but it was enough to complain about. So I am sorry that I'm having to do this one over again. I didn't even think about changing the color until later. So, so anyway, we still don't know where we're gonna live, and I do better coming up with story ideas, I think, when I'm happy and settled and know everything's gonna be okay. Because right now we're trying to find somewhere that's not a rental, does not have an HOA, and isn't out in the middle of, as my husband puts it, flaming nowhere. It's his way of working around not using, working around using bad words because I don't like to hear them. And, I was always told that they're bad words. Now, my son, on the other hand, was told that they're just words that are used incorrectly. It's like, no. I'm saying if this is a word that you would not be comfortable using in church, then it's a bad word. Or a word that may or may not get you uh, thrown in the brig by your commanding officer. That's something that I put into my story because they say that generically because they don't really know what they're talking about, but they say that sailors have the classic sailor mouth where all of the bad words come out of their mouth, like my son. I do not like that part. I really don't. Of course, part of that comes from when they were younger. Don't say that word, don't say that word, don't say that word, and then now all of a sudden they're older and uh, it was don't say that word, don't say that word, don't say that word, but then what is the next word that comes out of my brother's mouth? Yeah. It's like, excuse me, lead by example. Um, anyway. Anyway. Um, so yeah, the part of the story that we're at right now is, Jesse has gotten to the where the ferry was supposed to be open. It didn't even occur to him to call and find out if they were going to be open and make other arrangements. They can drive a speedboat over there, but then they'd have to get picked up, or they might have been able to get one of those little cargo ships where they could have brought the car with them or something, but it didn't occur to him that they wouldn't be open because they're like always open. People need to get from Ireland to Scotland, or Ireland to France, or whatever, all the time. And um and I didn't think of it actually. I think they said that the ferry goes from Dublin, which is on the other side of Ireland from where a lot of the story happens. So so it's like 4 hours from the mansion to it's like 4 hours from the mansion to Dublin, and then they have to go on the ferry and it goes to wherever it goes to. Or depending on where Scotland is, they might have to go up to the top of Ireland, which is at least 6 hours. But knowing Sean and Jesse, they would probably go a little faster on the well, no, they'd probably go way faster on the parts where there's miles and miles of nothing. If there's parts where there's miles and miles of nothing, because that's what happens in California. You're going to Southern California from Northern California, or even Nevada, and there's big spots where there's like literally nothing. It says it's controlled by radar, but you never know. Nowadays, controlled by radar could mean they've got a satellite dish pointed right at that road, and they will catch all the speeders. I don't know. But California's also got this weird rule, which is good. If the flow of traffic is all going 90 down the freeway, then you can go 90 down the freeway. But if the flow of traffic is all going 55, you got to go 55. Well, it would probably be 65 because the speed limit is 65. But people on I-80, they're all going like 80, 90 miles per hour, if not more. Um, what else can we talk about? Oh, so anyway, they get to the ferry and they find out it's not open today. So they're gonna so they called Hayden, and Hayden's like, "Please tell me that you're gonna make it," because his mom's driving him nuts. And basically she's been yelling at him all day because the girls should have been there the whole time, but somebody had to stay home and make sure all of the animals got fed. You were probably wondering why I just passed up that house, and there's a very good reason for that. No, there's not. Never mind. I forgot. This one's going to be bamboo. And I did not understand that because we just had one a little bit down the street that was also bamboo. And it's like bamboo is the rarest color for the house in this situation. And I don't understand how it got to where it wasn't that rare. Like there was a one house on each street chance before, and then now there's literally two. Anyway. Anyway, so they're gonna talk a little bit, and it's gonna turn out that Lance has a speedboat. He didn't get it for Christmas, but because part of the conversation was unless somebody got a speedboat for Christmas and it wasn't us, we're not gonna make it. And Hayden's like, he gets an idea and he's like, hold on a minute. He talks to his brother Lance, and yeah, Lance still has his speedboat, and Hayden tells Jesse what's going on, and to park the. I think he tells him to park the van, and they'll be there as soon as they can. So yeah, they're gonna end up picking them up. Hopefully, I will get past that today. This one. Okay. Anyway, hopefully I'll get past that today, and I will be happy if I do. Um, okay, I've got a goal that may not happen. Um, but I've got the goal of by fireworks tomorrow, having that finished. But I'm still trying to. I think I've got a. Well, I think my sister has a mission for Lumiere and one for Sadness. And then there'll be another one for Joy, and then another one for Sadness, something like that. And I need to do that. And then there was something for Merida. If I don't get the DLCs done in like by the end of the week, or not the end of the week. Anyway, if I don't get it done by like today or tomorrow, that's fine. If I don't get it done like really really quick, it's fine. But um but I do want to get those two for the the regular Valley done. Oh, that is backwards. Okay. Anyway, want to get the stuff for the regular valley done today. And then hopefully I can get the other stuff done by the end of the month. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but I love playing that game. But sometimes I'm sitting there going, but I've got to get this done. I got to get that done. Like today I've got to do laundry. Um, I'm going to see if husband can get um, the bathroom cleaned. I cleaned it last time. And then I was a cow. Okay, so I heard what sounded like somebody with a very big man yawn. Um, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a definite man yawn on the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which just happens to be on YouTube this month. And I think that is so cool. Well, it got put on there last month actually. So some of the movies are on there for just a few, like they'll be on there for a few months and then they're no longer on there. And then there's like Point Break where it's on there all the time. So I don't know. But yeah, 'cause you know everything, Professor McGonagall. She, um, we're at that part in Sorcerer's Stone where she's saying, "There's nothing wrong. Just go back. If there's something wrong, Dumbledore will handle it, but they know it's going down tonight," kind of thing. So, um, anyway, I'm hoping to get that chapter done today. At least that chapter. I would like to get, more than that. But I want to get that chapter done and as much of the laundry done as I can, I guess. I don't really want to do it because, it's part of it's outside. I don't really like going outside. There's bugs. Uh, this time of year, there's quite often too much sunshine. It's just too hot for me. And after I'm done here, I have to go and, um, I have to go and get the stuff out of the dryer, which the dryer is outside. So annoying. Anyway, it's so annoying. And I have to post the videos, and I have to, um, like I said, I need to work on, that stuff for my sister, but I want to work on my story, and, I might just say sister can wait. She can't get on her Xbox and I mean, like she can't get on her Xbox anyway, but I go and try to do something every day for her. Yesterday's videos were silent from me because I just didn't feel like talking. I had dealt with my mother-in-law the day before and I was kind of cranky. Well, um, I was kind of cranky from that, and then on top of that, I was having the issue of, um, like we still don't know where we're gonna move to, and you're gonna get tired of hearing that, I know, but um, hey, I got a solution for that. You're not necessarily gonna like it, but if everyone buys at least one of my books, then we'd have something to um we would definitely have something to work with for moving. And it wouldn't be so much of a what's happening? Oh no. I mean, I literally think I'm getting like high blood pressure from this. Uh so if whoever's watching this video at the moment, wants to help with that, just please buy a book. I'm not expecting you to buy all 7 books. Like maybe you don't even have a kid. Or maybe you like children's books even though you're not a kid um and you want to still buy it. Eh, Oh great. Okay, hold on a minute. Um no, come on. Well, I wanted to send it to mother-in-law. Share, there you go. Where's mother-in-law? What? Getting so frustrated. Okay, does this make any sense to anybody else? She asks me, did Mikey take his phone with him? I put yeah, comma, why? The next thing that she answers with is, did Mikey take his phone with him? She's convinced that he's 4 years old. He doesn't like her calling him Mikey, but she does it anyway. Phone it is on silent. He probably can't hear the text nagging him. Oi. I don't know if he has it on vibrate or not, so I'm just gonna act like he doesn't. And so another thing I was gonna do, and I still might do this, is right now all of them are spruce color, I think, for the roofs. And I might go and like come up with some better complementing colors. I mean, spruce works for like all of them, but I might come up with something that's even better. Okay. The A is nowhere near the Y. Now, what'd you say? Okay, I warned my husband that mother-in-law is asking if he took his phone with him, and he goes, "No." But yes, you did. Because how else is he texting me? Okay, fine. Uh, he's obviously pressing the buttons on on the screen. You know what? I'm gonna separate that. No concept of. Okay. So I gave her a message that tells her that I am still streaming slash working. And hopefully she won't bug us again. Doubt it, but we got a chance. Um, and I still haven't figured out, okay, are they going to have him as a trophy captain? Like they captured him and they're just gonna have him as a trophy until he dies, or are they gonna um, or are they gonna be trying to sell him at the pirate auction? Is this gonna be when they're I've kind of decided that I want it to be like the next big adventure after the captain. What? Oh, somebody around Las Vegas was trying to call me and phone stopped them. That doesn't make any freaking sense. Okay, so Hermione is saying that she can make that bluebell flame that she made and put in the jam jar earlier in the book, and 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 then she's like, "But there's no wood!" And Ron yells, "Are you a witch or not?" And she's like, "Oh yeah," and you know puts together the fire and the plant that's. Sorry, somebody's doing something and it's making the ground rumble a little bit, and I'm like, what the heck? And I realized I think it's the guy next door. Anyway, he's not even okay. He's not one of those people that would have to go to Walmart and use the electric cart. He's not overweight, but unless they've traded out neighbors next door, like he shouldn't be able to be rumbling the whole entire floor. It's weird. Like I'm starting to think that maybe he's got an old PlayStation 2 or something with the iToy, or maybe a Xbox. What was it? I don't know. It might have been Xbox Two or something like that. I don't think that's what they called it. Wait a minute. Okay, there was Xbox 360, which I think had the um I can't think of what it's called. PlayStation called it an iToy. But I can't think of what it was called for Xbox. Um, anyway, it was like a webcam thing that it's looking at you and you gotta set it up and everything. And then you can play the game. Um, then you can play the game, standing up without the controller and, get some exercise. I think he's using something like that. Although I don't know why somebody would have um, a machine that old nowadays. Although I guess there's people that still have VCRs. Not very many, but oi. Okay. Now it's the color that's supposed to be. Yeah. Now it's the color it's supposed to be. All the thingies are going in the correct direction, and not that. Anyway, if I could get to the end of the street by the end of I'm not going to get into it by the end of this week because, tomorrow is the end of this week. But if I could get done with it by, like, say, the Saturday after that, I'd be really happy. It's not happening, but it might. Um, so, Wednesday, I didn't get to play. Uh, no, I think I got to do my thing on Wednesday, but it was gonna be really late, so I posted it to come out at 11 on Thursday. And then it was like way after 11 on Thursday, so I'm like, fine, and set it to public. And then I didn't get to do my sister's thing. But anyway, so yesterday I sat there and um game Xbox has Game Pass, and Game Pass has play um this many games during the month and you get the points for it. And I was like, okay, that works. Let's do this. Well, I don't think I ever loaded the puzzle game yesterday, but I got everything else done. So I didn't get as many as I could have, but I got a lot. So, trying to save up for we're supposed to be having a mini DLC that they call an adventure pack for whatchamacallit, Dreamlight Valley, and then um ow! Sorry, that was my thumb. It's like, when you have air in your fingers and you go and crack them, it was like that, but it was just from playing games. Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So, anyway, see, I was gonna eat my toast yesterday, and then I kept saying, I need to make my toast, I need to make my toast, I need to make my toast. And I never did until like 4 something in the afternoon. So I was being a very bad girl yesterday. So today, I definitely want to make sure that we have, that I eat my toast at 11 ish. And then make me some sausage. I don't like microwaving it, though. It just doesn't seem to cook properly. Okay. I keep thinking that I could do it this way, where it's just nice and framed a different color, but yeah, I really want the whole thing to be the same color, so. Oh. Or like on a couple of the houses on Cherry Street, we have cobblestone right here. And that's because my aunt's house in Fairfield, California, it's got that kind of thing on the bottom part. Their house is like, um, it's got like um, on the one side you have to go upstairs. You have to go up some stairs to get into their house, and then on the other side, it's like ground floor. So I don't quite understand, but I kind of hope she still has that house. I mean, I totally still, hope she still has that house. They've been living there as long as I can remember. There. Anyway, if I can get this done before he gets home, then maybe we can get some more stuff done today. But I do have that problem where I want to Um, I want to combine the two things. Although, if I have this after. Ooh. Yeah, if I have this after, then maybe he would end up turning into the captain. At some point. Like maybe all of a sudden, the way that they get free is all of a sudden he turns into the captain and they cannot escape because it's titanium shackles even in the tool room. And they can't get out, but like all of a sudden um the sh- the enemy pirate ship crashes into the Amazon island. I wonder. I kind of got that. Well, I probably did get that idea from Hercules, the TV series, with Kevin Sorbo. They had they had an Amazon island or an Amazon area, and then there's another village where there's all these guys, and they think it's perfectly fine. But Hercules is like, I think like one of the guys was upset about it, and everybody else thinks it's perfectly fine. You know, and can't remember though, but maybe it was like the whole group of guys wanted them back. I don't remember. But anyway, they go over there and Hercules goes over there and they captured him part way and they have him in the back of this horse and cart and they put him in a cage. Well, that's kind of where I got that whole Amazon island thing. Um but like maybe the ship goes off course and you know goes to the Amazon island and just gets stuck there on the beach. It can't go forward, it can't go backward. Or maybe it gets stuck on that sandbar. But I like the idea of it getting stuck on the beach itself. But anyway, it can't go forward, it can't go backward. Um, but it's definitely not going to drift out to sea, even when the water gets up further because it's high tide, low tide, whatever. Um, and they're just sitting there and they're hoping that they're going to get um, rescued, but they don't know. And, it could be one of those things where they're panicking a little bit because they got left, because the captain got them left for dead, because he's normal again. And I don't know. I'll have to come up with something. So, how far are we? Guess that depends on how many houses we've done today. But seriously. Okay, this is the rest of one block. And this is a second block. Third block. Oh, see, that's how my husband did it. On one of the other streets, though. Fourth block. Why did that happen? I have no idea. Fifth block. Okay, so 5 blocks worth means 35 more houses, or about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, stop that, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, so about 33. Okay. So yeah, each of these houses takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And, sometimes it goes very, very smoothly. And then the other times oops, I did the wrong color. Or, oh, I didn't finish that part. Or something like that. But I pretty much have this down to a science. And and then maybe after it gets stuck there, then the Amazons are like, the Amazons don't like men, so they would want to, so depending on how far after their wedding this would be, or at least when they meet when Sean and Jesse meet them, they don't like men. and then like maybe Sean will hear the Amazons first, and then they'll hear Ashley, and like when he hears the Amazons first, he's groaning, going, "Oh no, not again," or something. And starts explaining to Oliver what happened. Yeah, because I suddenly wanted to be Oliver instead of Alan, because Alan would have been with the older people. Although he's younger than Katie and Daniel, but he's 10 years older than Morgan. So that means he's 9 years older than Hayden and only 8 years older than Jake. But anyway, maybe, um, he groans and starts telling Oliver about, what happened the last time he was there, which would have been the time um, when Sean's son Jonah was 4, his, um, his grandma, or one of his grandmas, is an Amazon, and she has been drinking. I don't know if I made it cuckoo juice or crazy juice, something like that. Anyway, she's been taking something that makes her really hate men and want to unalive them. So, but she also knows that they need to keep the best way I can word it is Amazon inhabitants. They need to keep that going. So they do need they. She knows that they need the men, but they really, like, keep the men for a little while and then make sure that they are not alive anymore. um so in the book The Island, that's exactly what's going on. And I was trying to keep it a secret, but it's like I can't. Um but anyway, so like maybe Oliver starts telling about what happened on the island last time he was there, because Jonah was 4 and he was really missing his mom, but you know there's the grandma factor, where he's always, I mean, he's been knowing uh since a few months after he was born that grandma's nuts, because grandma's been trying to unalive him ever since he was born, for being male. And so, so it was Sean and Jonah that went to the island. Like he was in school and he was acting up and, just being a real jerk just because he could. Or like, Jonah, go to your room, do your homework, and he yells, no! Something like that. And He's basically saying, I want to go visit my mom, but he didn't know how to say it because he didn't want to upset Ashley. Well, we don't got enough money for that. Just a sec. I'll be right back verbally. I'm sorry, family stuff. So, um, in law's landline is not working, and she said that she needed to go Home Depot, Home Depot, for a box of paper. Oh no, she said Office Depot. Okay, I saw Home Depot. Okay, it's good. No, I said landline. That's what I meant. funny how they're so poor that she's worried about paying all the bills and everything. She can go and get that box of paper. I mean, mother-in-law prints stuff out all the time, so they need the box of paper. But I'm just saying. Or how, I love the game Golf with Your Friends. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't have any more, it's kind of annoying that it doesn't have any more worlds than what it has, but, you know, because it's only got like, maybe a little over 10, or maybe not even 10, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't have very much. After this house, we're gonna end it, so, so hopefully, oh, yeah, anyway, I'm gonna write, if I'm gonna do it that way, and I probably will, because it sounds like a very excellent way to end the story, is, I always call it a story, because it's like, it's one big, first of all, it's one big story, and then, second of all, it's, it gets turned into books, but it's still, one big story. I just, broke it up into certain books, So anyway, so like I said, I write books. They're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They ship everywhere that Amazon ships to, and they are available for free shipping on orders of $25 or more. And if I can, I will see about seeing if I can maybe get paid. It doesn't even have to be that much. Like, if I could get paid, like, say, $5 an advertisement, I'd be happy. You ain't gonna get that. Seriously, you're not gonna get that offer from anybody else, I'm sure, because they know that they are, that advertising is worth a lot more than that. But anyway, so, anyway, I'm saying, I know it sounds like I am a gold digging winch or something, and, I'm not. It's just that, like, we need the money right now. Um, okay, so for hardback, Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times is $26 each. I don't know why my brain keeps disconnecting and connecting. Esperanza's Party is 24. The Island is 25. Lessons Live is 27. And Quarrel is not available in hardback at this time. All of my books are $20 each for the paperback, for the pirate books, but for Coral, it's a lovely bargain at $6. And then for ebook, hold on a minute. Okay, there we go. For ebook, Coral is $2.99. Pirate's Daughter is $3.05. Esperanza's Party is $3.05. All the others are $5 each. If you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. I may continue this off stream because that's the easiest thing to do. There's no pause button, there's no me worrying about, whether the person I needed to talk to was just walking by, and I stopped trying to find them for a minute so I could go do the laundry. Anyway, it's just easier doing it this way. Dang! If you think about it, that would be a very bad place to have a because it looks like it's a bull because it's got horns. But there is one kind of cattle that is there's one kind of cattle that actually has um horns on both the guys and the girls. Um but anyway, I think I'm gonna continue this um while I'm doing laundry today. And so anyway, if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Please get those valid public watch hours up. Remember, we're trying to get to 3,000. Thank you for what you've done so far, but please help me to get to 3,000. And then ultimate goal is we need to get up to 4,000. But I do have to go and take that laundry out to the dryer. Well, I have to get the stuff in the dryer, upstairs. That's another thing. It is no fun having to take the laundry upstairs. What? Oh, thank God. Okay, so, father-in-law was really sweet. They've been using up a lot of gas, and my husband needs it for work, so he went and filled up our gas tank, which is awesome. Um, and then she was telling me that he was supposed to fill up our tank. Well, who's gonna drive the car that hurts everybody to drive it, and she doesn't have a license? And if she says something about, and because I asked her, was she yelling at me about that? And, because of the way it was worded, asked her if she was yelling at me about that. And hold on a minute. I am not gracing that with a response because my only response is you could get a job. I obviously can't get a job because I am too white and don't speak Spanish for the one job that I was trying to get, Dollar Tree. I'm waiting until Monday to tell them about that because I don't, I don't care what state you're in all 50 states. The United States government says that you are not allowed to not hire somebody just because they are a certain race. Which means, like, if you're I still don't know what the new PC term is, so I'm gonna go with black. I mean, because if you've ever actually seen a black person, I'm sure most people have, they're not actually black, they're actually kind of a brown. So why would you call them black? That doesn't make any sense. What moron came up with that one? I mean, some of them are, but not very many. They're all kind of a brown color. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sure it was like, some rich landowner somewhere and they're like, "Oh, you're black." And it's like, my skin's brown, thank you very much. Me personally, I'm white, but just saying. Yeah, I was supposed to stop. Okay, so I'm gonna continue this off screen and I will see you in the next stream or video. Wait, why am I doing that? There we go.